5 days we've been here, waiting for embarkation. I've no idea where the front line is anymore. Germans are advancing so quickly, all we can do is stall their attack until we get on board the ships. Heard some of the lads from the 2nd Dorsets broke out of the stairs. Cameron Highlanders were defending Le Basset, but the township got engulfed in flames. That severely weakened the line. And the Germans weren't going to wait till we plugged the gap. They just punched a hole right through it and surrounded the Dorsets. They must have thought they were a greater threat, because they allocated the troops to deal with them instead of pushing on towards the coast. Wish we still had our guns. We had to spike them on Monday, under orders. That's 5 days ago. There's nothing more useless than an artilleryman without a cannon. All we do is keep our heads down, shuffle along in line and wait for the Stukas to come in. I saw one boat, a small wooden motor launch it was, zigzagging its way out to the bigger vessels. Well, these Stukas came in and attacked the destroyer which the little vessel was heading to. They approached it from the sea and dove in single file. Oh, you should have seen the tracer fires erupting from the deck of the destroyer. Now, the first Stuka dropped his bombs with deadly accuracy, and as he was pulling out of the dive, the little motor launch must have proved too tempting a target for him, because he opened fire with his cannons. The little motor launch disappeared behind a wall of saltwater spray, and as the plane continued to pull up, the pilot could no longer keep his guns to bear on the little vessel. Seconds passed, the spray had cleared, to reveal the motor launch was undamaged. Now, the second Stuka dropped his payload on the destroyer, and it too took the opportunity to shoot at the little vessel. Now, by this time, some of the troops on the beach had taken an interest in standing up on the side of the bomb craters. Once more it disappeared behind a wall of saltwater spray, and as if blessed by the Lord Almighty himself, reappeared, which must have been very frustrating for the German pilots. But cheers from us onlookers rewarded their incompetence. So the 3rd and 4th Stukas did the same as the first two, and the destroyer was completely ablaze. Some of the men were jumping over the sides, and lifeboats were being lowered as the ship listed. The anti-aircraft guns were still firing, but with all the smoke, it's hard to see how many. So the 2 Stukas also found the launch attempting target. They opened fire, only for the vessel to reappear seconds later, undamaged. But by this time, the lads on the beach were shouting and encouraging the little vessel, which had by now turned round and was trying to head back to shore. But what happened next was just... The last Stuka saved his bombs. The destroyer was already sinking. Wasn't going to waste it. The plane was committed to the dive, so the pilot pulled back, much like the others. Except he didn't fire his guns at the little boat. He targeted it and dropped his bombs. Now, a vessel that size doesn't need to have a direct hit. Any large explosion there buys enough to reduce it to kindling wood. Bomb exploded. A column of water was thrown skyward. No one said a word. We were too demoralised. Everyone was thinking the same thing. What if I had been on the launch, or even the destroyer? For those who are still watching, a small miracle had occurred. The wind drifted the spray, and it unveiled the little motor launch very low in the water, and all the men on board were bailing out for their lives. We saw a couple of boats change course to come to the raid. And the Stukas. Well, the Stukas were prevented from making a second attack because 3 of our Hurricanes are racing towards them, making the Nazi buggers run for home. It looks like Perrin scavenged some water from somewhere. Well, best not miss out. You coming?